Welcome to our YouTube channel, The Alien Tales, and please ensure that you have subscribed.
I was assigned to execute her until I saw she had my mother's eyes. 20 years ago, aliens took human DNA. Now I hunt their experiments. She's the last on my list, but the resemblance is undeniable. The rain drummed against the warehouse windows as Kade Thornfield checked his neural scanner one final time. 23 kills. All Zephyrian experiments masquerading as humans, spreading their alien consciousness through Earth's population. This would be 24, the final target on his list. He'd been hunting the hybrids for 3 years, ever since the Resistance discovered the truth about the 2004 abductions. The Zephyrians hadn't just taken humans for study. They'd harvested DNA, creating perfect replicas embedded with alien neural networks. These weren't victims, they were weapons, designed to infiltrate and transform humanity from within. Kade's mother had been among the taken. Isabella Thornfield, brilliant xenobiologist, vanished during the first wave. He'd been 12, waiting for her to return from her research station in the Arctic. She never did. Only frozen blood samples and scattered equipment remained. The scanner beeped. Target located. Sublevel 3, East Corridor. Designation, Lyra 7. According to the files, she appeared to be a 26-year-old artist living under the identity Seraphina Vale. Neural pattern analysis confirmed 73% Zephyrian integration, high enough for immediate termination. Kade descended the metal stairs, plasma rifle charged and ready. The warehouse had been converted into artist studios, providing perfect cover for the hybrid's operations. He could hear classical music drifting from one of the units, Chopin, Nocturne in E-flat major. His mother's favorite. The irony wasn't lost on him. In hunting monsters, he'd become one himself. Studio 7's door hung slightly ajar, warm light spilling across the concrete floor. Kade approached silently, years of training allowing him to move like a ghost. Through the gap, he glimpsed easels, canvases, and the distinctive smell of oil paints mixed with turpentine. He pushed the door open, rifle raised. She stood with her back to him, painting at a large canvas. Auburn hair cascaded down her shoulders, and she wore a paint-stained smock over dark jeans. The Chopin continued from hidden speakers, each note hanging in the air like crystallized emotion. "I've been waiting for you," she said without turning around. Kade's finger tightened on the trigger. "Hands where I can see them. Turn around slowly. You're Kade Thornfield, son of Isabella Thornfield, xenobiologist. She was taken during the first wave. Seraphina, or Lyra 7, continued painting, adding delicate brushstrokes to what appeared to be a star field. You've killed 23 of my kind. 23 alien parasites," Kade corrected. "And you're number 24. She laughed, a sound both musical and melancholy. "Is that what they told you? That we're parasites?" She set down her brush and slowly turned. Kade's world tilted. The woman facing him had his mother's eyes. Not just the same color, but the exact pattern of amber flecks around emerald irises. The same gentle curve of brow, the same high cheekbones. It was impossible and yet undeniable. "Hello, Kade," she whispered. "I've missed you so much." His rifle wavered as 20-year-old memories crashed through his mind like a tidal wave. "You're not her." Kade's voice cracked despite his training. "My mother is dead. You're just wearing her face." Seraphina stepped closer, and he caught her scent. Lavender and vanilla. Exactly like Isabella's favorite perfume. "I am her and I'm not. It's complicated." She gestured to the canvas behind her. "Do you remember when she used to paint the night sky for you? When you couldn't sleep?" Kade's breath caught. Nobody knew about that. Those late-night painting sessions had been their secret. Just mother and son creating imaginary constellations while the world slept. "The Zephyrians didn't just take DNA," Seraphina continued. "They took memories, experiences, emotions. When they created me, they used all of Isabella. Her brilliant mind, her capacity for love, her dedication to understanding the universe. Tears glistened in those familiar eyes. But they also gave me something else, awareness of what I am." "You're lying." But even as he said it, Kade lowered his rifle slightly. The neural scanner in his pocket was going haywire, registering patterns he'd never seen before. I know about the scar on your knee from when you fell off your bike at 7. I know you used to sleepwalk during thunderstorms. I know your first word was star because she showed you the constellations every night. Seraphina's voice broke. I have all her memories of loving you, Kade. But I also remember being created in their laboratory, understanding that I'm not really her. The rifle slipped from his grasp, clattering on the concrete floor. 20 years of grief and rage warred with impossible hope. Show me, Kade whispered. If you have her memories, prove it. Seraphina nodded and moved to a cabinet in the corner. She withdrew a small wooden box, carved with intricate patterns. Kade recognized it immediately. His mother's memory box, filled with mementos from his childhood. You kept this, he breathed. I made this, she corrected gently. After I escaped the Zephyrian facility, the memories demanded physical anchors. She opened the box, revealing a baby tooth, a pressed flower, a photograph of young Kade grinning gap-toothed at the camera. This is from your 6th birthday, she said, lifting the photo. You wanted a telescope, but we couldn't afford one. So I stayed up all night building one from cardboard and magnifying glasses. It barely worked, but you looked at the moon through it and said it was the best present ever. Kade's eyes burned. He remembered that telescope, remembered the pride in his mother's face when he'd hugged her tight and declared her the best scientist in the world. Why didn't you come back? The question tore from his throat. If you're her, why did you leave me? Because I'm not just her. Seraphina's voice turned pained. The Zephyrians created dozens of hybrids from Isabella's template. Most were mindless drones, but a few of us retained consciousness. We were meant to be infiltrators to prepare Earth for integration. But something went wrong. She pulled out another item, a locket Kade recognized. We felt love. We felt human. Seraphina opened the locket, revealing a tiny picture of baby Kade. This is why I couldn't return. I knew what I was, knew the danger I posed. Every moment I existed, I risked activating dormant Zephyrian programming. What if I hurt you? What if I led them to you? Kade stared at the locket, remembering how his mother used to touch it when she was worried or sad. So you've been hiding. I've been living, trying to honor Isabella's memories while forging my own identity. She gestured around the studio. Painting gave me peace. Each canvas was a way to process experiences that weren't entirely mine. The other hybrids I killed, were they like you? Pain flickered across her features. Some were. Others had already been consumed by their programming. You did what was necessary, Kade. But not all of us are monsters. He picked up his rifle but didn't raise it. The resistance will never believe that. You're still on the termination list. I know. She moved back to her easel, adding another star to the painted sky. I've been tracking your missions. 23 kills in 3 years, you're efficient. They'll expect confirmation of my death within 48 hours. I could fake it. Report the target eliminated. Provide false biometric data. And then what? I hide forever while you live with the lie. She shook her head. That's no life for either of us. The truth hung between them like a blade. He couldn't protect her indefinitely, and she couldn't hide forever. The resistance had ways of verifying kills, and eventually, they'd discover his deception. There has to be another way, he said desperately. There is. Seraphina set down her brush and faced him fully. But you won't like it. Kade's stomach clenched. What are you thinking? The Zephyrian mothership is still in orbit, cloaked beyond Saturn. If I could reach it, I could access their central database, learn how to safely remove the alien neural networks from the remaining hybrids. Her eyes blazed with familiar determination, Isabella's stubborn brilliance. I could find a cure. That's suicide. The ship is heavily defended, and even if you got aboard, they'd kill you the moment they detected unauthorized access. Not necessarily. I still carry Zephyrian biosignatures. To their systems, I'd register as authorized personnel returning from a deep cover mission. She pulled out a tablet showing him stolen schematics. I've been planning this for months. Kade studied the diagrams. The plan was audacious and dangerous, but theoretically possible. You'd need a ship capable of reaching Saturn, advanced stealth technology, and specialized hacking equipment, all of which the Resistance has access to. You want me to help you infiltrate an alien mothership? He laughed bitterly. 3 hours ago, I came here to kill you, and now. She stepped closer, close enough that he could see the flecks of gold in her green eyes. Their mother's eyes. Now I don't know what to think. He ran a hand through his dark hair. If this works, you could save countless hybrid children who don't even know what they are. If it fails, you die, and I'll have lost her all over again. I'm not her, Kade, but you're not her either, Kade replied, the words coming out in a rush. You have her memories, her mannerisms, her brilliant scientific mind. When you tilted your head just now, analyzing the problem, that's exactly what she used to do. Seraphina smiled sadly. I dream her dreams sometimes. I wake up missing a son I've never raised, grieving a life I've never lived. The line between Isabella and Seraphina blurs more each day. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Kade picked up the photograph of his 6th birthday, studying his mother's face in the background. She always said identity wasn't about origin, it was about choice. You chose to live as an artist rather than a weapon. You chose to protect me rather than reveal yourself. Every day, you choose to be more human than the humans hunting you. The Resistance will never see it that way. Then we don't tell them. Kade's mind raced, formulating a plan. I report Lyra 7 as eliminated, provide fake biometric confirmation. But instead of hiding, you and I steal one of their ships and head for Saturn. Together. Hope and fear warred in her expression. I'm not losing you again. Besides, you'll need backup on that ship. He grinned, the expression feeling foreign after years of grim purpose. And I happen to be very good at killing aliens. For the first time since entering the studio, Seraphina laughed. A sound of pure joy that echoed off the warehouse walls. Isabella would be proud of you. She is proud of me. Through you. The words felt strange but right. When do we leave? 3 days later, Kade stood in the shadows of Resistance Command's hangar bay, watching technicians perform final checks on the stealth ship Phantom's Edge. The craft was sleek and predatory, designed for deep space reconnaissance missions that officially didn't exist. His falsified mission report had been accepted without question. Lyra 7 was listed as terminated, another successful hunt to add to his record. Meanwhile, Seraphina waited in a safe house across the city, preparing for the most dangerous mission of either of their lives. Thornfield. Commander Reese approached, his weathered face stern. Good work on the Vale target. Final hybrid eliminated. Yes, sir. The lie tasted bitter, but Kade kept his expression neutral. I'm reassigning you. There's been unusual activity around Jupiter's moons, possible Zephyrian scouting vessels. Take the Phantom and investigate. Perfect. Kade nodded. How long do I have? 2 weeks. After that, we'll need the ship for other operations. Reese clapped him on the shoulder. You've done humanity a service, son. Your mother would be proud, if only he knew. Thank you, sir. As Reese walked away, Kade's communicator buzzed with a coded message from Seraphina. Ready when you are. The stars are calling. He smiled despite the gravity of their situation. Isabella had always said the same thing before their nighttime stargazing sessions. Some things transcended death, memory, and even species. Final systems check complete, announced the lead technician. She's ready to fly. Perfect, Kade replied. Time to visit some old friends. The Phantom's Edge sliced through space like a silver needle, her cloaking systems rendering her invisible to conventional sensors. Saturn loomed ahead, its rings catching and scattering starlight in countless brilliant arcs. Beautiful, Seraphina whispered, pressed against the viewport. During the 3-day journey, she'd shared more memories, Isabella's wonder at the cosmos, her theories about alien life, her dreams of peaceful contact between species. The mothership should be. Kade consulted his instruments. There. Bearing 27 Mark IV. A massive shadow blotted out the stars, the Zephyrian vessel, larger than Earth's moon and bristling with technology beyond human understanding. It hung motionless in Saturn's shadow, waiting. Bioscanners are active, Seraphina reported from the co-pilot seat. They're reading my hybrid signature as Authorized personnel returning from extended assignment. So far, so good. Kade guided them toward a docking bay that opened like a mechanical flower. Remember, once we're aboard, we have maybe an hour before they realize you're not supposed to be here. More than enough time. She squeezed his hand. Whatever happens, Kade, I'm glad we're together. The ship shuddered as docking clamps engaged. Through the hull, they could hear the hiss of atmospheric processors equalizing pressure. Then the bay doors sealed, and alien air filled their temporary haven. No going back now, Kade murmured, checking his weapon. Good, Seraphina replied, her eyes blazing with determination. I've been running for 20 years. Time to finish what Isabella started. The mothership's corridors were vast and eerily beautiful, walls pulsing with bioluminescent veins that provided gentle illumination. Seraphina led the way, her hybrid nature allowing her to interface with alien systems as they approached the central database. Here, she whispered, placing her palm against a crystalline interface. Data flowed like liquid light, and her eyes reflected the alien script scrolling past. I'm downloading everything, hybrid creation protocols, neural integration procedures, and… Her breath caught. Kade, there are hundreds of them. Hybrid children, scattered across Earth, most unaware of their true nature. Can you cure them? Yes. The process is complex but reversible. We can give them their humanity back. Tears streamed down her face as she worked. Isabella's research was the key all along. The Zephyrians thought they were creating weapons, but they accidentally created something beautiful, beings capable of bridging two worlds. Alarms began to wail. Red light bathed the corridor as Zephyrian guards approached. Time to go, Kade said, firing at the advancing figures. Almost finished. Seraphina's fingers flew over the interface. Got it. The cure is downloaded, and I've sent copies to resistance databases worldwide. They ran through twisting passages as the ship came alive around them, hunting the intruders. But they'd accomplished their mission. In her final act, Isabella Thornfield, through her hybrid daughter, had found a way to heal the wounded and reunite the scattered. As they reached the Phantom's edge, Kade looked back at Seraphina. Ready to go home? Yes, she said, her mother's eyes shining with hope. Let's save our family. The ship launched into star-filled darkness, carrying them toward a future where love could triumph over fear, and identity was defined not by origin, but by choice.